Namaste. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Buenos días. Ni hao. No Akwaba. This is the preparation for the weekly Woyum Kabbalah meeting. Global Federation of Villages. We're actually already streaming on YouTube Live, but there's challenges with the feed. So I'm also doing this through Zoom. To have an increasingly coherent version. Zoom is zoomed up. I'm not certain how to adjust that, but that's a difference. Well, I don't do that. It is what it is. The streaming thing is not hidden. I don't know how to do that. So that's another thing. Anyway. Yeah, the programs on here are stalling and freezing up. I'm doing two streams basically simultaneously, so I may have to close the YouTube live joint because every program is basically freezing up. Oh man. It's still going on. I mean, see. All right, so it's saying the high CPU is affecting the meeting. So YouTube gets done. So it seems like the Zoom is still going, so I'm just going to keep going with that. Looks like the internet is tripping again. Ah! It's always something. Haha. Why are you doing that? I canceled you all. All right. I think we're ready to start. Yeah, I guess we can start. So, the hour is 70. Wow. I am fatigued again. The hour is 7:50 Greenwich Mean Zone. On day numero 7, or day numero 10 of intercalary period of year 122 after the commencement of the Parliament of the World's Religions, year 70 after the founding of the United Nations, day 5 of the week, day 7 of the new moon, and this weekly meeting of our Wowyam Kabikahik, our Global Federation of Villages, is called to order. We begin with a blessing. May all beings be well. And we continue with a recitation of our mantra from the preamble of our compact. We, the sentient beings of our Global Federation of Villages, observe the antiquated institutions and systems facilitating convention, and we believe we can do better. We recognize the historic and contemporary harm we cause each other, and we are dedicated to do better. We are dedicated to reconciliation. The wisdom of our ancestors, prophets, and sages tells us we do better by exercising compassion towards each other and all life. This begins by fundamentally respecting all beings, all life, all phenomena. And this continues through enhancing the wellness of all beings and all life steadfastly as universal citizens. We are better learning that when we do this, we also enhance our own respective individual wellness. Thus, we reconstruct our institutions and systems to be proficiently compassionate and transcendent. This includes our institutions and systems of religion, government, education, health, finance, commerce, socialization, and additionally. We fundamentally challenge previous precepts, theories, laws, and methodologies of selfishness. We declare a new age of compassion. And whilst our new institutions and systems supplant the antiquated institutions and systems, we facilitate this process with maximum peace, humility, stability, efficiency, and compassion. We practice World ethos, including Ahimsa, Ubuntu, Veritas, Hayashu, Makahoga, Samadhi, Shema, Shabana, Nara. The preceding text is provided for this purpose. Love and peace. So attendance for this meeting, Peter Johansson of CC is on the books. There's an absence of any emergency or urgency propositions, and the minutes from our previous meeting. The previous meeting is convened at 0 hour 0 GMT 6, Greenwich Mean Zone, on day numero 3 of the intercalary period of year siete GMT 2 after the commencement of the Parliament of the World's Religions, year 70 after the founding of the United Nations, day 5 of the week, and day 16 of the full moon. The blessings recited, mantras recited. Peter Johansson of CC is on the books for attendance. There's an absence of emergency, urgency propositions. Minutes are read, agendas read. Old business includes activist, socialist, independent media, and co-ops update, referencing Amnesty International offices and groups. Correspondence regarding the Trust Compact, translation of World ethos. Also consideration of looking at couch surfing participants in our respective locations. Looking at intentional communities and sending a correspondence again to Amnesty International co-ops. I referenced the conversation at Revolution Books. I also mentioned the social networking platform update. For new business, I shared the tentative flag, the official version as well as the standard version, that's old business and new business. For local village briefs, for our UNI village, I talk about our vote of co-op as well as the International Day of Peace, next door environmentalism, as well as the village experience here in our UNI village. So that's the previous meeting. The meeting is adjourned at, the announcements include the upcoming observance of, today the pastors are observance of Amavasya within Hinduism, Upasada within Buddhism, Juma and Hajj, beginning Hajj in Islam, Rosh Chodesh, Elul and Shabbat within Judaism, Sunday worship within Christianity, and upcoming feast, which is actually Aola today, Oi, within the Baha'i faith. For benevolent news, I sing Allahu Abha, as well as the Gayatri Mantra and the Peace Prayer Song. The benediction is recited and the meeting is concluded, adjourned at, wow. Okay. I'm presuming what is intended is 01 29 hour, Greenwich Mean Zone. It looks like the originally reported hour is at Eastern Standard Zone. So I'm just adjusting it accordingly. So those are the minutes from the previous meeting. The agenda for this meeting includes the update on our flag, essentially a decision regarding the flag, both versions, as well as updates regarding the Amnesty International offices, correspondence, and rapprochement. Vote of co-op update for proficient reasons. And as well as social networking update and the Sprues forum or account or page or site. And so that's what's on our agenda, as well as the local village briefs. So getting into it, flags. So first item, old business flags. This is the official version with those nasty fingernails. That's the official version. This is the standard version. So obviously the difference is the symbols are on one and absent from another. This is comparatively simple. It abstains. I think it's easier for people to understand and kind of be able to actually even embrace or accept or receive without being inundated and even intimidated or even offended, either as adversaries or even as adherents of the symbols included within the official version. So there's a consideration that it is easier to share this version. When I consider which version to support, the consideration that is shared is that it is increasingly difficult to support this one. So fewer people may be considered as being able to do so, and for that reason, those who are able to do so have an increased obligation, even, or encouragement to do so. So this is the version I intend to support. Again, the symbols are just basically the symbols that are derived from the respective national flags of our respective regions, as well as traditional symbols in each of our regions as well. Those symbols included in this flag that abstain from being included within a national flag are basically the Baha'i star. The crescent and moon are actually included within the Pakistani flag, but in the Saudi flag it's absent. The Om syllable, the Dharma wheel, and then the yin and the yang. But again, these are very basic and traditional symbols within our respective locations and civilizations, so are included accordingly. So there's that. So that's the situation with flags. Next item is Amnesty International. So I send out some solicitations to friends for translations. I received a fair number of responses, and actually some actual translations. So that is appreciated. And I mentioned, I think previously, the consideration that this may take, it may be an extended process. So at this point, given the amount of response, there's the intention of simply continuing to go forward with whatever we have before the next meeting, God willing, before next week. So the intention is to complete the correspondence to each of the offices, finalize the contact information, and forward actually or translate the correspondence and the trust compact within the respective language of the office, the geographic area of the office, and forward that correspondence to each office before next meeting. God willing, that's what will happen. With whatever translations are provided from friends and otherwise. So it is beneficial to stick with the momentum of this. So that is what is being done. And I also mentioned previously forwarding this to co-ops that is potential as well. That is, there's an interest in doing that, including it as well. So the big thing is just completing the correspondence and translating it and finalizing the contact information. So that's a work in progress. Next item of topic, next item of business is vote of co-op. So here within our UNI village, we are gradually making progress with our vote of co-op. And we're strengthening and solidifying our contribution process and methodology. So we're working on an information packet to share with interested parties that explains the process and essentially like the philosophy and reasoning within our methodology. Again, contributions are made. We abstain from receiving money in our vote of co-op. We establish wholesale accounts with suppliers, and for those who are interested in participating within our co-op, we make arrangements for such individuals to make direct purchases through our account information with the suppliers directly, so that rather than our vote of co-op receiving money, the money goes straight to the suppliers, and then the products are shipped to our store. So that's basically the setup, and like I said, we're solidifying that, and we're reaching out to others with that as well. We're also transferring co-op credits. Actually, a number of the friends who help out with translations, I personally am providing some co-op credits that I have for that service. So we are also establishing the mechanism for that as well, transferring co-op credits, counting of co-op credits, and additionally. So is increasingly becoming a thing and even an official thing. So we also receive an offer from Ramsden International, which is a UK-based distributor of products, basically all types of products, but particularly Ramsden distributes products provided from Summa Co-op, which is a fair trade co-op based out of UK that itself abstains from delivering or shipping internationally, but provides the products through Ramsden to ship internationally. So actually, this is something I contact Summa Co-op a few months ago, and Summa informs me that it abstains from shipping internationally, refers me to Ramsden. I reach out to Ramsden, abstain from hearing anything until this past week. Saying offering an account. So God willing, that will be confirmed soon. I send a follow-up response email confirming our interest in opening an account. So that should be in the works, and God willing, that will be confirmed. The purchase minimums are considerably higher than some of the suppliers here on Turtle Island, about maybe 6 times higher and above. So that's just something to grow on. So that's something to consider. But the benefit is that Summa Co-op has a number of favorable products, vegan fair trade products. So it kind of specializes in that. So it's nice to have that available. So actually, Ramsden International, the website abstains from showcasing all the products it has available because it only provides that to people or to entities that have accounts with Ramsden International. So I'm just aware that Summa says that it forwards its products through Ramsden, and Ramsden in its own promotional material also lists Summa as one of the product lines that it includes. So so what that also does is it expands the um, the uh, the breadth of our votive co-op, because Ramsden obviously again is based in the UK. It ships internationally, so for us to receive products here in Turtle Island involves international shipping. Yet we can also make arrangements, presumably for shipment to other locations, including our respective locations within our Wowie and Cake. So this is something to keep in mind as we continue in this process of development, and particularly in the scope of economic cooperation. To jump back a little bit about the transferring of co-op credits, many of the friends that provide the translations are indeed located in different places throughout the earth in our respective locations, and additionally, and so the issuing of the co-op credit may have little immediate tangible benefit because people are located elsewhere, and it's increasingly difficult to come by our store and pick up the products and spend the co-op credits. That being said, we do maintain the propensity of shipping EXW or FCA. I just know those acronyms. Basically, what that means is that the buyer is responsible for the shipping costs. Basically, that's what it is. So I send a correspondence to DHL inquiring what those options are, and establishing an account with DHL for EXW and FCA shipping terms. So I have yet to hear back from that, but that's something also in the works. So the prospect of our international economic cooperation is increasingly is progressing. It's increasingly tangible with this arrangement in the works with Ramsden International for making wholesale or bulk purchases and shipping internationally, but also in the additional products that our votive co-op receives, recognizing that anything that we receive here continentally through Level Ground or Equal Exchange or Charles Organic or someplace else, obviously to ship it elsewhere is going to be expensive and less efficient. It's plausible, it's doable. I mean, again, it depends upon what people's interests are, how feasible people are. I mean, if people have co-op credits and essentially are receiving the products without monetary cost and utilizing the co-op credits, however people acquire the co-op credits, then to pay a few bucks or euros or pounds or yen or rand or shekels or rupees or pesos and additionally dinars, then there may be a genuine incentive to make that arrangements for us to ship those products from our store and our inventory to people internationally. So these are things that are in the works as we and that's as we become increasingly our supply our operations system becomes increasingly streamlined, efficient, as well. Working again with the co-ops in our respective locations as well. That's another avenue for economic cooperation as well. So on those lines, this is some material from Equal Exchange, which is a fair trade. This is a list, a wholesale pricing list for those who have wholesale accounts, and this is information on one of the fair trade groups that Equal Exchange works with that provides one of the products that we're interested in, which is cashews. So one of the interesting things about this is that there's a person here who's affiliated with the Fair Trade Alliance Kerala, which is the video is reversed, so I have difficulty coordinating. Okay, here, Tommy Matthew. So I'm uncertain how common that name is in India. Thomas and Matthew are comparatively common names here, although Matthew is less of a common surname. So I'm uncertain what it is in India. However, I say that because there's actually a friend whose name is Thomas Matthew. He may go by Tommy, who is actually involved with the International Association for Religious Freedom, which is an international organization, international interfaith organization with which I'm involved with effectively, unofficially, for over a decade. So I consider whether he is actually also involved with Fair Trade for All. I mean, the two go hand in hand, but it's just something I noticed. So these are photographs from an article that a Fair Trade official or staff person takes in visiting the Fair Trade Kerala operations and setup. And so it talks about the event that is organized and the food preparations and things like that. So it's nice to see connection with the people who are cultivating the food that is nourishing us. So this material is actually intended for making an arrangement for a bulk purchase of cashews. That has yet to be completed, but it's something also in the works. So that's some of the stuff that we're working on with our votive co-op, but also coinciding with the economic cooperation that is part of our William Kivik. So there's that. Next item on agenda is social networking and Spruce account. So I do indeed start an account with Spruce, and I established a group page on on this platform for our William Kivik, our Global Federation of Villages. So it's less. I mean, there's less thrills and spills than the Facebook account, but there's also less advertising, commercialization, and distractions as well. So we see how it goes. There's a modest amount of traffic on our Facebook group page, and so we can see how this develops. With the consideration of doing this in a transitional manner, meaning that basically double posting on both platforms for a while, and encouraging additional participation within the dedicated platform for in group page for our William Kivik on the Spruce account. The name of the aggregate portal for in which this group account is established, which includes additional endeavors within which I am personally involved. The portal, and the name of the portal is Soul I Dare to Be .spruce.com. So there's that. So that is old business. On to new business. There's an absence of new business. So that brings us to local village briefs. So within our UNI village, again, we're working with our votive co-op. In terms of village experience, there's an increasing amount of connection. I personally am experiencing with the neighbors here. Obviously, I mean, it's very modest, and it's simply a matter of just basic small talk conversations. But it is an additional amount compared to what previously exists, because The nature of interaction here on Turtle Island amongst many within many neighborhoods is very standoffish. It's very detached. Neighbors tend to infrequently talk with each other and know each other and build relationships with each other. Partly because a significant reason is often, particularly like in a location here, neighbors have very little expectation of staying in a place for an extended period of time. This is kind of like a staging ground for young professionals, university students, grad students, and additional people who are affiliated with the university nearby and some of the other institutions here nearby to just get an apartment, live here for a little bit, and then amidst getting a gig and a larger income, getting a house or something like that. So this is kind of like a commuter neighborhood, at least at the moment, which makes it difficult to establish long-term relationships. I live here for going on 8 years. Yeah. So I'm here for a while, but to be honest, I know a few people who are also here for a while. I mean, I know many of the people in my building are here for a while, but other than that, a lot of new faces, a lot of young faces. But anyways, that's part of the experience. That being said, I'm out there. I'm on these streets in a very modest manner, and I am greeting people. I'm talking to people. People are talking to me. People are there's face recognition and familiarity, and so I mean, whenever building a relationship, particularly among strangers, it's a delicate dance. So that's progressing. Additionally, a recent consideration is establishing a residential co-op for activists. And basically the idea is activists pooling together some resources as kind of like a kitty and using that as a progenerator, for lack of a better word, for establishing a residential co-op and approaching a benevolent investor to acquire stewardship of a building here in our UNI village and provide the units for that building to the participants in the residential co-op. There being certain guidelines and protocols involved with it as well, including pluralism and environmentalism and socioeconomic harmony. And additionally, again, utilizing wealth ethos as well as the trust compact. But yeah, so it's an increasingly modest iteration and component of our UNI village, and it's a formidable project, but it's like I say, it's comparatively modest when considering the aggregate endeavors of our UNI village. So anyways, that's some of the stuff that's happening here. And we're continuing to plan for our International Day of Peace. I share some material with neighbors within the past week about this that is received overall well. So that's some of the stuff that's happening with our UNI village. So that's the local village briefs. Also, I share this at this moment, but it could have been said before. But I mentioned connecting with Amnesty International. So, in part of that, it's also serving as a news agency because Amnesty International provides updates in the regions and in the national areas and societies surrounding our respective locations. And so the updating of these news articles is less frequent. However, it provides an indication of the conditions that are being experienced within our respective locations. So it's beneficial to be abreast of that. And so there's that. That can be considered part of the village, local village updates as well. So anyways, there's that. That brings us to announcements. So for announcements, we are in the midst of Hajj within the within the faith of Islam. We are also in the month of Elul within the faith of Judaism. Hajj is the pilgrimage in Islam to Mecca, one of the pillars of Islam. So a rather auspicious and formidable period at the moment. Elul is a preparation for the high holy days within Judaism. Also, this day brings feast within the Baha'i faith. Mañana is Juma within the faith of Islam. And then Mañana evening brings Shabbat within Judaism. And then following Saturday is Sunday worship within Christianity. And then next week, towards the end of the week, a little bit over a week from this point, is the observance of Purnima within Hinduism, as well as the Upasada day within Buddhism, the observance of the full moon. So those are some of the announcements on the respective religious calendars within the next week. That brings us to benevolent news. Let's see if I can stay awake for this. The intention is for me to sing actually 3 songs. There were actually 4 songs on the agenda, but I reduced that to just 3 because. So 3 is company. 3 is enough. 3 is a crowd. 3 is a charm. 3. Anyways. So the 2 songs are Allahu, which is basically part of the recitation of faith within Islam. Although traditionally within Islam there's an absence of music, or music is abstains from being done in an orthodox manner, so this may be considered as an increasingly perhaps a mystic or through another. I'll leave it at that. The other song is Om Mani Padme Hum, which is basically it's Buddhist, but it's again gleaned from Hinduism or the Hindu tradition, and the terminology is from the Sanskrit language. So those are the songs for this week, and then the third song is what may be considered as the standard, which is the peace prayer song, which is simply a prayer for peace, including the conjuring, the blessing of peace in multiple languages. So those are the 3 songs for this week. The songs intended for next week include Earth My Body, which is the song that was kind of bumped for this week, as well as Nobody Knows. So Earth My Body is from European Earth tradition, and Nobody Knows is from African Turtle Island tradition. So for today, Allahu and Om Mani Padme Hum, as well as the Peace Prayer song. And these are the songs. Allahu, 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 La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah. 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Salam Shalom. Wolokote Shanti. Ewa Mirpaz. Wabinamani. May peace prevail throughout the earth, for now and evermore. May our children grow up safely in a world without any war. A part of what makes a pull for peace, it stands up tall for our release. A world of kindness and unity, a part of what makes a pull for peace. Salam Shalom. Wolokote Shanti. Ewa Mirpaz. Wabinamani. We will all dance and celebrate with every nation and race. And together we will all create a world of beauty and grace. A part of what makes a pull for peace, it stands up tall for our release. A world of kindness and unity, a part of what makes a pull for peace. Salam Shalom. Wolokote Shanti. Ewa Mirpaz. Wabinamani. Salam Shalom. Wolokote Shanti. Ewa Mirpaz. Wabinamani. May peace prevail upon earth. So, that brings us to the benediction. May all beings be well. And with that, this meeting of our Wowium Kapit Kahek, our Global Federation of Villages, is Let me actually rephrase this. First of all, I'm noticing that I record the beginning hour incorrectly. The beginning hour is actually 06:50. So I just provide that for the record. And so the hour at this moment is 07:33, Greenwich Mean Zone. And at this moment, our Wowiyong Kabidkihik, our weekly meeting of our Wowiyong Kabidkihik is officially adjourned. Namaste, assalamu alaikum, shalom, adios, ajen, one, asamodwo. Love and peace.